my name is Jennifer, and I'm reading The Color of My Words by Lynn. We're on the last chapter, The Color of My Words. Grab your book, let's read along together. The color of my words. Silver words poured down from the sky. Blue ones float by and by. Stir them with red instruments of blood. Paint them on white, frame them with mud. This portrait of magic held in my hands, a collage of words, colors, and plans. My brother's story remembered and told, the colors of my words forever bold. For days, no one could get me down from my tree. Not that many people tried. Mommy had disappeared into her shadow and was hiding in our house somewhere. Poppy and Roberto were down at the jail with the other men, answering questions. Angela was sick in her bed. It was Angel who came and stood at the bottom of my tree and talked to me. For hours he would stay there, and sometimes he pulled over Poppy's porch chair and sat down next to my gree-gree. I never said a word, but Angel stayed there anyway. And I think that it must have been Guario asleep in his grave at the bottom of my gree-gree who kept Angel company. Because it sure wasn't me. I sat in my tree, but I didn't look at anything. Not the sea or the mountains, and I didn't feel anything. I didn't even feel when the green leaves stirring against me hard when a rainstorm was coming. I got completely wet holding onto a branch as the winds blew, but I didn't feel the chill. Only at nights I came down from my tree. I walked to the beach, and there was only the smooth black sea at midnight, when the stars had fallen out of the sky, and there was no moon to show that anyone or anything existed here on my island. Some nights, I climbed into bed and went to sleep next to Angela. In the mornings, I went straight back into my gree-gree tree and started over. I didn't go to school. I didn't talk. I didn't write one word. But there were plenty of words swirling round and around in my head, and although I couldn't see what they were, I only saw a haze of color, and the color of my words was red. And then one morning, when I was climbing the tree, a loud noise rang out over the village. It might have been a motorcycle backfiring, but it sounded exactly like the gunshots I had heard on my birthday. I was halfway up the tree, and the noise scared me so much that I let go of the branch and fell to the ground. I saw everything plain as day, the fat Guardia standing with the gun in his hand, and Guario's blood-hot body at the bottom of my tree. I put my head down and cried. I cried until all the red had disappeared and I could only see black spaces. No more words, I whispered into the ground. I clutched 2 fistfuls of dirt and looked up at heaven and God and Guario. I promise I won't write another word. It was the only punishment I could think of worthy of what I had done. I had sat in my tree and watched my brother die. He was trying to protect me and I had done nothing to help him. Whether giving up writing even mattered to God or Guario, I did not know. But it was all that I had, and now that I didn't have it anymore, just like I didn't have Guario anymore, just like I didn't have anything, nothing at all, anymore on my dark green island where rivers flow swift over hard rocks. I didn't even have my gree-gree tree anymore. I knew in my heart that I would never be comfortable in that tree again. And when I was finally able to open my eyes and look around, a lot had changed. The shootings and riots were over, the hotel project was called off, and the government gave us back our land. But that's what they told the journalists. They didn't realize that it wasn't theirs to take or to give back. We'd had it all along and never had given it up, not 1 inch because of Guario. Angel was going away to Nueva York. Poppy and Roberto had come back home from jail, and Poppy had a job at the cheese factory in Sosua. Angel was cooking dinner and taking care of everyone, and Mommy was fitting herself slowly back into her body. I tried to tell Mommy and Poppy that it was my fault Guario was killed, but Mommy covered her face with her hands and cried, "It's all of our fault, Carino," she said. And Poppy came over to us and put his heavy arms on our shoulders and said softly, "Calete, mi amor, it is not our fault." But his voice broke in half, just like my heart, and even Poppy could not convince me of what I knew was true. One day I woke up and I realized I was 13 years old. It was really 6 months after my official birthday, but Poppy and Mommy had decided that I would have the birthday we had all missed. I was not too happy about it, but it made the whole rest of the family, even our neighbors, excited. So I pretended it was a great idea. The day was hot and rain trickled down the clouds and bright sunshine and showers. It was the kind of hot where your blouse gets stuck to your skin and your hair curls heavy down your back like jungle vines. Outside, banana leaves, broad and green, waved against the windows. Senor Garcia waved hola to me as he opened the doors of his new colmado on the corner. Senor Rojas shouted Feliz cumpleaños to me as he hurried off to catch the Montoconcho to work. Senor Perez came by and gave me a painting she had just painted for me. She said, "It was Guario, with angel wings on his back, sitting on the bottom of my grapefruit tree." I bit my lip to not cry in front of her. It was beautiful, and I wondered how Senor Perez knew exactly. This was exactly what I saw whenever I looked at my tree. Papi was getting ready for his shift at the cheese factory. No more porch rum days for him, ever since Guario died. Mommy told me to look for the good that comes out of the bad. I was the one who sat on the porch after school in Papi's old chair instead. Every day I sat there, and our hot Dominican sun darkened my feet as they rested on the porch wall. My toes pointed straight toward my grapefruit tree and the fine white cross that Papi and Roberto had put on Guario's grave. Our town had changed in 6 months. It was high tourist season, and there were more tourists than ever before. Hundreds of them came on fat silver planes. They walked around Soso in bathing suits, trying out Spanish words with their strange accents. There was excitement every week when the planes arrived, as if we were all waiting for something big, but we didn't quite know what it was. More tourists is what we got, and that was fine because our hotels and restaurants needed them, and they made our beaches look happy and full of life. But we still waited for something special to come out of the sky, or maybe it was just me who was waiting. The morning of my birthday, Papi and Mommy gave me the most extraordinary present I will ever get in my life. A gleaming silver and blue typewriter, and with it, hundreds of sheets of white paper. I stared at it for so long that Papi asked me, "¿Qué pasa, cariño?" I shook my head, "Nothing, Papi," and then I touched it. I ran my hand over the cool metal and stroked the smooth white keys. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. There was a card and everyone's name was on it. Angel in Nueva York, Angela, Roberto, Papi, and Mommy, Senor and Senora Garcia, and at the very last was Guario's name in tiny letters so I could hardly read it. He told us that you would need this for your future, and that we must all work together to get it for you, said Mommy. When? I asked, raising my eyes and looking into hers. Papi cleared his throat. He placed a rough hand on my head. A few days before he died, Carino, he told us you must be a writer, and we promised him. But I don't write anymore, I whispered. That was only partly true. In my head, I had a million stories that wouldn't go away. Mommy spoke sharply. Well, Ana Rosa, it is time for changes. I couldn't explain to Mommy and Papi why I couldn't write before, so I walked down to the beach instead. It's hard to be unhappy at the beach. The waves talk to you and the wind tickles your neck, and the sun-warmed sand flows over your feet, pulling you down, making it harder to walk, forcing you to stop and kick some up, dragging you to the edge where the sand is dark and cool and squishes up tiny stars between your toes. And there, the waves can get you, splash you with their drops of crystals and make you smile. Then before you know it, you just run right into the water and splash a big wave straight to heaven where you know your brother is watching. So you smile up at him and you wave if no one is looking, and you say, "It's my birthday," real soft, so no one but the fish can hear you. You wonder for a moment if Guario's listening, but you know he is, because he's your brother, and he will be no matter what. Another wave rises up and splashes so hard that your mouth is full of salty water, and you spit it out and laugh at the mess you are with your clothes soaking wet and your hair full of sand. But that's okay, because it's your birthday. If you ever will be forgiven for something, it is here at the beach, under the sun, in the sea, beneath a wave, close to everything that makes you happy without even trying. Words flow like the ocean, like the river on wash day, like Wario's blood on my birthday, his death day, the same moment, two tied together forever. Words, solid like diamonds, plop themselves down in my head, and they can't be blocked with rocks or guns or wishes or tears. Words to tell Wario's story. I looked up at the sky and the blue, blue, faraway heaven where Wario watches me. I'm sorry, I shout as loud as I can. I'm sorry. My words are carried off by the waves and the wind, carried straight to heaven. I hope where Wario can hear me. Maybe it's the silver wings on the waves that touch me brand new. Or maybe it's because I have just waited long enough for the answer. But suddenly, as I stand there surrounded by the ocean and the sky, I realize what it is I have to do. I have to write Wario's story down so that everyone will know my brother. I shall write it all down on my new typewriter. Today is the day I have to start. It is today or never. I know it. So I race out of the waves and run along the beach and all the way home, words singing in my head. The end. Thank you so much for spending time with me reading along to The Color of My Words by Lynn Joseph. Again, my name is Jennifer, and I hope you have a great day.